Namaste to one and all present here. Today, me and my friends are going to present a puppet show on the topic non-luminous objects and detecting light. The characters are myself as the narrator, Sanvi and Appurva as the students, and Ananta as the teacher. Hope you enjoy.
Namaste class. Today we are going to start with a totally new topic in physics, light. So as we already learned a little about this last year, we know a few things about light. So who can tell me a few facts about light?
Ma'am, may I please answer?
Sure. Go ahead, Sanvi.
The sun spreads light across the whole globe and the light travels in a scattered manner.
No ma'am, light always travel in a straight line, and also light from the sun takes 8 minutes to reach the earth. Ma'am, Sanvi, please remember this. We can go further to the lesson.
With that, they head home and start their research. Now let's peek into Sanvi's house.
Non-luminous objects don't give out light. I hope that's enough.
Sanvi goes to sleep after that while Appurva spends a lot of time researching and finally gets ready to sleep. The next morning, Sanvi wakes up because of the light coming from her window.
I hate this light. Let me close the curtain. At least the room will be darkened enough to sleep. Oh, I just researched what they are and they are
At school.
Ma'am, non-luminous objects are classified into 3 categories: transparent, translucent, and opaque. Transparent objects let light pass through them. Translucent object blocks some light and let some pass through it. On the other hand, opaque object let no light pass through them.
Oh, I just researched what they are and they are something which do not produce light.
Sanvi thinks about the question and suddenly the curtain idea pops up into her head.
Ma'am, when we drop the curtains, light stops but glass doesn't stop light. So the curtain is opaque and the glass is transparent.
This covers opaque and transparent object, but can anyone from the audience give us an example of translucent object? Please use the raise hand option. Okay, now which organ helps us to detect light?
Ma'am, the eye.
Retina, a light sensitivity layer of tissue at the back of the eye. Special cells called photoreceptors turn the light into electrical signal. These electrical signals travel from the retina through the optic nerve to the brain. Then the brain turns the signal into the image you see. Okay, good. So what are the parts of the eye?
Eye. Retina, sclera, iris, cornea, lens, pupil, aqueous humor and vitreous humor and optic nerve.
Please put your answer in the chat box. Do not repeat your answer more than once. In the end, we will tell you if your answer is correct. And please do not repeat it, as then it will be very difficult for us to find out if your answer is correct or wrong. Luminous objects, non-luminous objects. I'm confused. Well, I think you are. So let me quickly tell you what luminous objects are and what non-luminous objects are. Luminous objects are objects that produce light. For example, the sun. Non-luminous objects are objects that cannot produce light. For example, an ice cream. Now, if you all are clear, you can kindly put one example of luminous objects and non-luminous objects in the chat box. And please do not repeat your answer. We will be telling you if it's right or wrong in the end. Well, since our topic is non-luminous objects, we'll be focusing more on it. So, non-luminous objects do not produce light, but they can, or in some cases cannot, pass light. So, well, since they have different characteristics within themselves itself, they must have different types. Let's take a closer look into the 3 types of non-luminous objects. The first type of non-luminous object is transparent objects. They pass light fully. So, no matter how much light you pass through it, all the light will be reached on the other side, and seeing an object through it is piece of cake. For example, your glass window, just like Sanvi said. A few other examples are transparent book covers, etc. The second type of non-luminous objects are translucent objects. They pass light partially. So, not all light may go to the other side. You can only see the object if it is kept close by. If it is a little far away, you may see it, but very blurry. Few examples are the butter paper that comes on the side of pastries. A4 paper is also a very good example of translucent objects. The third and the last type of non-luminous objects are opaque objects. They do not pass light at all. So you may shine a torchlight through any opaque object at your house. And if you do not see even the slightest bit of light on the other side, then you may call it an opaque object. For example, cardboard boxes, curtains, etc. This is the summary table. The question is, do we pass light? Transparent objects? Yes. Translucent objects? Partially. Opaque objects? No. Now let me prove it to you. This is a transparent object and you can clearly see the board and what is written on it because it passes all the light there is. Whereas this is a translucent object as you cannot clearly see what is written, but you can see it as yes, it does allow some light to pass through it. This on the other hand is an opaque object as when I keep this in front, you can see nothing of the back. In fact, it also creates a shadow. Confused? Well, you're in luck. It's time for pictorial representation. So this is the picture of the eye according to our textbook. So basically, light passes through the cornea, which is the transparent outer surface, and then it goes to the aqueous humor, which is the watery liquid. Then it reaches the pupil, which is a black dot, and then it passes through the lens. On passing through the lens, it reaches the vitreous humor, which is the jelly-like substance. This is the vitreous humor. Then it reaches the retina, which is the light-sensitive layer. The image forms over here only. So once the light reaches over here, it forms the image. If the light is dim, such as dawn or dusk, the rod-shaped cells send messages to the brain using the optic nerve. Whereas, if it is bright, like daylight or something like that, then the cone-shaped cells send the messages to the optic nerve, and thus we can see it. If it is dim, then we can only see a black and white image of whatever there is. Whereas, if it is bright, we can see a colored image. Finally, to sum it all up, luminous objects produce light while non-luminous objects do not. Transparent objects pass light fully, translucent objects pass light partially, and opaque objects do not. The eye has various parts which enable us to see. And don't forget, we will be telling you towards the end of the class if your answer is right or wrong. Thank you.